My name is Brett Blanden, and my nickname is Scoop. I am a front of house and broadcast engineer, and I work primarily with Lady Antebellum. Today we are at Masterphonics in the mix room. The first artist that made an impression on me, and it later became a technical consideration, but I think music came first with me, was probably Fleetwood Mac, the Rumors album especially. I was a drummer and played drums in my bedroom all the time, and I think I wore that LP out almost all the way through. And so I think that record first inspired my musical growth. Listening to guitar parts and bass sounds and drum sounds. And drum sounds on that record sounded like, I guess, kind of how I hear drums, or even tuned my drums then, or the amount of duct tape that I used on my drums at that time. So I think the Fleetwood Mac Rumors probably inspired most of my childhood there. Rod Stewart, Faces, Beach Boys, a little bit of Rolling Stones. I think all of those kinds of organic rock kind of things, rock pop. And I think as that translated into technical growth, I started listening to more pop music along the way, even into, Lisa and Cult Jam. I remember listening to those records as a kid, and El DeBarge and Ashford and Simpson and some of these R&B records. I really say that my first concert that I went to, large concert that I went to as a fan, was the Madonna Like a Virgin tour. My dad took me to the USF Sundome in Tampa, and we sat up in the rafters and watched Madonna run around on stage in a wedding dress. And the whole thing really blew my mind. Little did I know how much all of that experience would affect really all factors of my life down the road into adulthood. But I kind of have to say that before that, my mom was a pianist and organist in church and did a lot of musical direction and things like that. And so I grew up in Baptist church in Tampa. And so as a kid, even very young, we'd go to a lot of concerts that were even of a mid to large scale that were more gospel and religious focus. So Sandy Patty and Larnell Harris, I think, were two of the acts that came through together a lot that we would regularly go see. And Sandy Patty had a great voice, and I grew up around that music. Mom was always playing Sandy Patty music in the house, and Larnell Harris was kind of more of an R&B singer that came with Sandy Patty, and so I got to experience a lot of that music. So a lot of concerts that I went to as a kid were kind of praise and worship concerts, but on a fairly large concert scale, especially considering I had just grown up listening to concerts in churches. And so when we'd go to a concert, it was often at a place that's no longer there in Tampa called Curtis Hickson Hall, and it was a civic center. But they, put on several thousand seats of a concert for several thousand people there. And it was always a great band, and harmonies were really good, and you could understand all of the lyrics. Really have a focus on the lyrics. If I can't understand the words to a song that I might not know, I want people to buy new music. I want them to experience new messages because they can hear the lyrics, and that kind of became a focus like that. I've been a sound engineer now on various levels for, I guess, since about 1996. I moved to town in '96. I went to Berkeley in Boston, and did a fair amount of studio stuff in the Boston area during college and shortly thereafter. Moved here. Actually, the first job that I had in Nashville was serving coffee in this place. I did a fair amount of studio engineering when I moved to town. I managed Ocean Way Studios up the street for a while, more on the business side of things. I didn't really engineer there much at all. Worked at Scruggs Studios and here at the Tracking Room some. I've been doing live sound, I guess, since '99. I guess I got my first gig '99, so a while.